Hello dear viewers, and greetings once again from the Mexican seaside town of Playa del Carmen. I just checked out of my hostel and I'm on the way to the bus station. However, I still have plenty of time, like 1.5 hours until my bus leaves. So I thought, what better way to use that time than to review another kebab. There is a kebab shop right on the way to the bus station, so I'm not actually losing any time. I don't need to do any detours. Hopefully this kebab is gonna be as good as the previous one, maybe even better. Now, I did check the prices online and it is a bit pricier, I have to say. It is up to 3 times as expensive as just ordering some more traditional Mexican food like tacos. This is a kebab connoisseur channel after all, so we have to keep eating those kebabs, no? Behind me I think you can see some fairly nice houses, lots of palm trees, great weather, and luckily I have a matching shirt as well with some more palm trees here. This place seems quite relaxed. Everybody's driving very slowly. They let you pass the street. Before coming here, I've read that traffic in Mexico is chaotic, but so far I've only seen that it's actually very civilized and peaceful. Might be just in the tourist hotspots, I do not know, but it's absolutely nothing compared to Southeast Asia, for example. That's where a proper chaos is. I think December is probably the best time to visit this place because it is least hot. Temperature is still very nice, but it's not as if the sun is like overly burning. Although I think even in the summer the temperature difference is not as large. It's probably only maybe 5 degrees warmer. Anyway, we are approaching the walking street right now, and this is where the kebab shop would be. I just hope it is open at this time, which is 10:30 in the morning. I think it is open. Hola. Hola. ¿Tienes unos kebabs?
No tengo servicio todavía, apenas ando.
Okay. That's it. As it turns out, they are open, but there were no kebabs spinning yet. So it is too early, unfortunately. There goes my chance of doing a morning kebab review. Oh well, I guess Tulum is the next destination, so maybe we'll be able to grab a kebab for lunch there. Hello dear viewers, and welcome to another episode of Kebab Connoisseur. I am sending you my greetings from Merida, Mexico, largest city on the Yucatan Peninsula. And unfortunately I cannot show you the lovely historical center of Merida because I had to go to a neighborhood not outside of town, but you know, kind of on the periphery. And the reason for that is, as you can assume, because this channel is called Kebab Connoisseur, and I found one kebab shop in the whole city of I think over 1 million people, and that kebab shop happens to be in this mall. So please come with me for a short walk through the mall and we will see what they have on the offer. The kebab shop should be just around the corner here, and yeah, I'm quite curious how does a Mexican kebab taste. I reviewed only one kebab so far in Mexico because that does not seem to be a thing here. However, they do have something similar, al pastor, which is kind of a beef kebab, but they usually put it in tacos, tortillas, etc. I will show you more about that later. Hola. Un kebab, ¿qué?
Kebab.
Ah, sí. Un kebab de res.
What?
Yeah.
You want something to drink?
Yeah, one Fanta.
Fanta.
Yeah.
115, please. Is to take away or take
Here.
115.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Cool. So here I am, order number 1. It seems that kebabs are not particularly popular in Mexico. No wonder. Yeah, here you can see a lot of Mexican banknotes. 5 pesos, 10 pesos, and then 20, 50, 100, and actually, yeah, they're all 100 peso notes. This I think is a nice view because you should be able to see the kebab shop behind me. And the good thing is with these 10 pesos I can get the colectivo back. Colectivo, it's like a minibus, privately owned, which is used for public transport. It's more like a van actually than a minibus. You just hail one on the street, you jump in and you hope it goes in your direction. On my second day here in Mexico, I actually took a colectivo which I thought was going where I wanted to go, and then it took me to a completely different place. So beware if you take it. Once you get in, look on the GPS where you are going, and if it starts going in the wrong direction, I advise you to jump out. Okay, dear viewers, so here is the meal. It looks amazing when it comes to visual presentation. So we basically got a kebab in a pita, and then underneath there are some chips and there are sauces on the side for chips. Now it does not seem possible to order just the kebab, so I think I will weigh the whole dish, but again keep in mind that this includes the chips and the sauces for the chips, although I guess nothing stops me from actually putting the sauces on the kebab as well. So 443 grams. Paid 90 pesos for this, which is around 4 pounds, which means if we include fries, we get a bit over 100 grams per pound, or I guess somewhat similar value for euros as well, because there's not that much to separate euros from pounds these days, unfortunately. Rating 5 immediately for visual presentation. So how does it taste? Let's find out. So this kebab is very difficult to eat. The ingredients keep falling out. It seems there is no sauce inside, so I'll need to put some of it manually. I should not be putting all because I also need to use some for the chips. Now this is a mild sauce, or I think it's like garlic or tartare in that style. And this other white sauce is also mild. We get 2 mild sauces, which I honestly find quite surprising since we are in Mexico, the region where chili peppers originally came from, and where normally you get served at least 1 spicy sauce with every dish. In many taquerias, you actually get more than 1 spicy sauce. You get something like spicy, spicier, even spicier. So I'm quite surprised that there's no spiciness at all in this kebab. The salad itself is diverse. You get cucumber, red cabbage, white cabbage, lettuce, and tomatoes. I cannot see any onions from here, but if I feel some in the taste, I'll let you know. The chips, although I will not include them in the rating of this dish, they're fairly crunchy. They do go well with the sauces, but I'm really surprised that there is no spiciness coming out from this kebab. The bread in which this kebab is served is soft, but too soft in my opinion because it broke up, and I'm kind of struggling to eat it as a sandwich properly. On the other hand, at least I am eating it as a sandwich, which means that the flavors are mixing. Those of you who have been following my channel for a while surely know by now that I expect the kebab to be made in such a way that I can feel bread, vegetables and meat all at the same time, and sauces of course. The meat itself is quite interesting. It comes in these very small chunks. It is tasty, it is nicely marinated. As I already promised you, I'll right now put up on the screen how something that looks a lot like kebab is done in Mexico. So what I'm showing now, it's called al pastor, and it is essentially a pork kebab. This vertical rotisserie where the chunk of meat is turning and it's being grilled from one side, exactly like kebab. I was thinking whether I should include reviews of al pastor or not, but I decided against it, and the reason is, although the meat and the way it's prepared looks very much like a kebab, the way it is served is totally different. So normally it is served in different tortillas, not a typical combination of vegetables and sauces that you get with. I basically see al pastor and a taco with al pastor more like a kebab pizza rather than a kebab itself. Normally when you go to a taqueria, they often have al pastor, but you can also choose from all different kinds of meat like beef, chicken, cheese, sometimes mushrooms, guacamole even. There's different fillings you can choose. So they also show that these places, they're not dedicated to making al pastors. Al pastor is merely one of the ingredients that goes into tacos, quesadillas, empanadas, etc. But it is not the essential, it is not the central part of the dish, and therefore I decided against reviewing them. This garlic sauce is a lot better than the other one. The other one is kind of tasteless, I think. So my rating for this kebab is 2 stars. Visual presentation was fantastic, but unfortunately the taste was nowhere near. The only really good part about the kebab was the meat itself. Came in nice small chunks, and you can see that it is made from bigger pieces of meat, not from minced meat, which forms a homogeneous mass. So that meat was very good, tasty, well marinated. However, the bread was pretty plain and tasteless, and also it broke while I was eating it, so the ingredients were falling out. Salad was a good mix of vegetables. I cannot complain, but at the same time, because there were no sauces included, and especially because I only received 2 mild sauces for the chips, when you combine so much salad with bread, you just lose the taste of the meat. So we needed something like a spicy sauce to give more flavor to the mild tasting salad and bread, in which case the kebab would have gotten a higher rating. So very few kebab shops in Mexico. I would say at least partly because they already have al pastor. The chips are quite salty, so I guess at least that brings some taste. So Kebab Factory behind me, I guess it is kind of like a factory. Visual presentation of food amazing, but then when you actually eat into it, it tastes pretty plain. So yeah, this was Kebab Factory in Merida, the largest city on Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week in another episode.
So, that was Kebab Factory in Merida. While the visual presentation was outstanding and the kebab was one of the best looking ones I've ever eaten, the taste was severely lagging behind, and it only scored 2 out of 5. For the price of roughly £4, one gets 443 grams in this meal, but this figure also includes fries. In equal measure, the apparent value of 102 grams per euro must be taken with a pinch of salt for the same reason. Compared to the living standard in Mexico, this kebab is quite expensive as the average Mexican salary only buys you 2.1 kilograms per day, fries included of course. That is all for today. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next week in another episode.